I was asked to comment on this one video, and I kind of just stopped watching it halfway through this one, and apparently it's like a 9-part series, and it's by Galactic Wacko. Um, I really don't see that he's understanding what magnetics are, which is kind of why that if this guy is understanding magnetics the way he is and then trying to relate it to the symbols and what our symbols mean, um, it won't make any sense. And basically, he's got the planet, and he says there's these lines that go around the planet, and they come out of the north and into the south. So you have like the north side and the positive side of a magnet. The best way to understand a magnet is get a magnet and get some metal shavings and just see how they react and see the fields and the power within the fields and what's attracting and what isn't attracting. The north side, because it's magnetic north, I would presume it is the attracting side, and the south pole would be the repelling side. We also have a sun that's going on, and a lot of people may not realize it, but the sun, heat, definitely, I believe it makes a magnet lose its power, which makes the Earth go round, because whatever side is facing the sun, as long as that heat is, the sun's heat is hitting the planet, then it loses its strength. So it'll force it to turn, because it will be attracted and repel at the same time. It's kind of really hard to explain, but the part that he's trying to say is that the north and the south are the exits, and to our evolution, or our what do you call it, enlightenment, ascension, is through the center of these magnetic poles, and he's got these lines that one is a large one on the top and a small one on the bottom. And it's like, well, what happened to the full circle? Because it is a freaking full circle. And then he was sort of describing that they're trying to get you to go left or right. There is no left or right. I mean, if you're looking at the Earth with a flat picture and you're drawing a diagram to show the magnetic fields, then it looks like you're going left or right. But you got to picture it's like a bubble within a bubble. There is no left or right within a bubble. You're just in one that's encompassed by a larger one. The magnetic field is completely surrounded with this magnetic field, because the Earth is one big friggin' massive magnet. So there is no go left or right. You're either here or you're here. it's that was the part that is like, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. Even the sides, like that you're talking about, is not the negative or positive. The negative or positive are at the top and the bottom. And where the two meet, it's almost like that diagram is kind of wrong, because the north, it is attracting and pushing away like a magnet. Understand what a magnet is and how they work, and get some shavings, and you'll understand it perfectly. And then to try and see that in some way, shape, or form I mean, you can look at something and make it be anything you want it to be, but I really think this guy is first going off in a wrong direction if he's not quite understanding what magnetics are and what that magnetic field is, and there is no explanation as to why, you know, these lines are only halfway. It's almost like by not having the complete circle with the first symbol that he's trying to talk about, it's like, okay, the field is not complete. I mean, it'd be another thing if they had these symbols to be the full circle, but it doesn't. I think this video is just, you know, way off base. There is a lot better information out there than what this guy's saying, like, right away. And it's really odd that the diagrams that, you know, the figure 8, it's almost like he's trying to make DNA. The code of DNA is like the figure 8 in one way or another. Study vortex math. You'll really understand a lot with if you want to understand the planets in the universe, and like there are black holes that we're trying to understand. Stephen Hawking is pretty good at trying to find an understanding of what a black hole is. But a black hole is more or less like a donut. And vortex math will show you that it's more of a donut shape. And we are about to go into somewhat of a black hole, mostly because we don't know what it is. And it's the fear, it's the what's going to happen to us. If we knew how to handle the event horizon, this black hole would be nothing. It would be, it'd be a really enjoyable ride. But fear and not knowing what's going to happen, a lack of information, is what will rip you apart. And that's what we all want. We all kind of want to ascend. We've been waiting for, you know, so we're creating it. Everything out in the universal world is basically made up by our imaginations. Exactly the same way as we create our own reality on this planet. Half of it is just our imagination. They're just stories that we tell. And we tend to believe it. Because we believe it, we create and form our realities around it. Our particles and our waves, our emotions, our stuff, all is based around the stories that we choose to believe. I mean, you choose to believe that a piece of paper has some value. You choose to believe that, you know, a rock has value. And so you'll make your whole world operate based on a rock or a piece of paper that you say has value. So it is basically just all nothing but a freaking story. And if you want to evolve, it's like gain some awareness of the stories you tell and make something actually work for you. Kind of understand what would work for you. That's sort of the first step, is what would appear to be an answer? Nobody seems to know what the question is. So if you're not asking the right questions, you'll never ever get the right answer. So it's like, what does ascension mean? What does that really mean to you? And when you get a good picture of what does that mean, then try and see, well, how come you're not there yet? How come, if that's what ascension means to you by your definition or the story that you're going to tell, find out why you don't have that. And what would it take for you to be that? If you can describe something, then you are it. So there's my opinion about that video. Is it didn't seem to have good concept, good story, but there's way too much other science that kind of goes against even the very first thing on magnetics of what this guy is talking about. There is another guy that he's going to be changing geometry, I think it is, physics. Just about all our science is now needs to be rewritten. There is so much other evidence out there that's coming out. It has been getting somewhat approval, but in order for us to get new science out there, it means we have to collapse the system. And nobody wants to, anybody that's enjoying the system, the filthy rich, they do not want to change the system, so they do not want new science out there. So, and yet science is what manipulates us to believe in our stories and tell the stories that we tell all the time. But I don't see the planet escaping from the planet. None of that made any sense to me whatsoever. Kind of stopped watching it right away. Sorry. Hope that helps at all. Peace out.